This week we're going to finish out our paper piecing. Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and we are working on the Sunshine Daydream paper piece quilt. Even though this week we're going to be finishing up our paper piecing, and then the rest is pieced. This is the quilt we're doing. This is what we've completed to date, are these two rings, which are smaller. I'm wearing them right now as little necklaces. This week, we have the monster ring. I wish I could hold it up for you. I'm gonna throw a picture in right now. I took a picture of it on my floor with the smaller rings, just to show you how big this is. It's gigantic. Doesn't make it hard. Doesn't make it take it any more time than the small one. That it's just like, it's just a big old ring. So that's what we're working on today. And that is this outer ring right here. We've done these two smaller rings in here. So right here and right here. But anyway, today's video isn't going to be too long because this humongous ring is just like this small ring. The fabric's laid out the same. The template or the foundation pieces are just the same. They're just bigger. That's the only thing. So I'm just gonna reiterate some major points of how I did this one right here. So yeah, stick around for that. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You can watch me put this quilt together or join in. I have the link to it down below. It comes with all the fabrics you need, all the foundation papers you need. It comes with the pattern. It just doesn't come with the backing. That's it. So I have a link down below if you want to do this. It's not too late. It's never too late. Check out the links I have below too for all the products that I use in the video. I only use products that I like. So I have them linked down below. That really does help the channel out. And let's get started on our gigantic ring. All right, we are on week 4 basically of our Sunshine Daydream paper piece quilt. We are doing steps 5 and 6. And it's a little bit of a breather for steps 5 and 6 because we're doing the outer ring and it's exactly like the inner ring we did last time. Except that these pieces are a lot bigger. It'd probably make it easier, but it's still paper piecing and it's very precise. So I am set up here with my foundation pieces, which I cut out. 3A, 3B, 3C. It tells you which fabrics you need on here. So I've gotten those fabrics. These are the 3 by 4.5 inch rectangles we've already cut out. We did that in week 1. And then I've got each of the 4 fabrics that go with 3B and 3C. So I got my alphabetties here this time. Should have done that last time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can lay my fabrics out and put that this is fabric 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can just grab it as I need it. I've got my cardstock for paper piecing. Junk mail will do. Add a quarter, rotary cutter, ironing pad, and iron. So we're pretty much set. Oh, and your machine you want your machine set at a smaller stitch. My default is 2.2 and I put it at 1.5. And again, I am using this foot right here, which has a red dot, so I can follow the line precisely. So I'm going to get set up to do 3A, and I'm not going to go in as in depth or anything as I did last week because it's exactly the same thing, just bigger pieces. To get 3A, to get set up for 3A, I'll show you that. Fabric 1 is going to be this right here. Fabric 2 is E, which is this one. Fabric 3 is our Jaguars, and fabric 4 is the lighter of the fruits. So that's how they're going to be set up here. So here's fabric 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we always sew on the printed side, and our fabric goes on the other side, the blank side. And I find that it does help to mark your sewing lines, at least the first one. I'll mark them all. And I like to mark the corners of the outside edges. So we're going to take our fabric one is over here, and we'll set it right side up, 1/4 inch over the line, and I am going to clip it. Make sure you've got coverage over these outside lines also. So I'm going to clip it, then we're going to take fabric 2 and lay it right sides together basically, so that they match up, and then we will flip it over and we will sew on this line right here. But I do all mine at once, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare for all of these pieces. Okay, as you can see, I have 1 and 2 all set up on my foundation papers here, ready to go. I have them pinned in place, and I'm going to take them over, and I'm going to iron or sew on this line right here between 1 and 2, come back and iron towards piece number 2. So I'm going to get these all sewn on, come back, we'll get them ironed real quick, we'll go to number 3. Got all my 1 and 2 pieces sewn on, and I am now going to iron towards the 2. Okay, I've got my number 2 piece ironed over. We're going to flip it back to the printed side. Take our cardboard, junk mail, whatever you got, fold it on that line between 2 and 3. Take our add a quarter, I guess I got a little bit of big add a quarter, but it works, and trim it. So then we're going to take fabric 3 and line it up just like that. So I'm going to get all of these trimmed, and we'll come back and put fabric 3 on. Okay, I've got all my 2s trimmed. Now it's time to put on our 3s, and the way I do it is I'm just going to grab my 3 fabric. I'm going to line it up with the piece I just trimmed. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to sew along that line between 2 and 3. So that's how we do between 2 and 3. I'm going to finish these up, and I'm going to trim it out just like I did 2 and add 4. So I'll come back when all of these are finished. Okay, I got all my pieces onto my 3A, and now we're going to trim on the outside line. Never, ever, ever can I stress that enough. Trim on the outside line. Beautiful piece. I love it. It's so pretty. So I'm going to get the rest of these trimmed up, and then we can move on to 3B. And I'm just going to lay out 3B for you. All right, finished 3A. That's what it looks like. Absolutely gorgeous, just like the small ring. Got them all trimmed on that outside line. Very important, that outside line. So I'm going to set those aside, start on 3B, and this is how our fabrics are for 3B. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got them all labeled up here. I'm ready to go with 1 and 2 already on my first one. I've drawn my sewing line so I can put it 1/4 inch over, and I'm going to construct this just like the last one. So I will meet you back here when I've got my 3Bs done. Okay, there's my foundations 3B done, and I've got them all trimmed up. Again, beautiful. Love it. I'm going to set these aside. Now I'm doing 3C. I've got my materials laid out in the order that they go into the paper piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've got my lines drawn on the back, my first lines, and my edges. And I've already got my first pieces put on. So I'm going to, again, mass produce these where I put fabric 1 and 2 on all of these, sew it, and get these done too, and I'll meet you back here when these are done. Here we go. There's our 3C completed. So pretty. But anyway, I'm going to put 3C aside. I'm going to put 2A on the left, 2B on the right, and we are just going to, just like last time, put them together. matching those sides, and then we are going to sew down this line. So we'll have 8 of these sections when we're done. And then when we come back, we will iron to the left. We'll iron towards section 3A. And I'm sorry if I've been saying 2, that's what we did last time. We are working on 3 right now. So, add section 3B to 3A, sew on the inner line, and iron towards section 3A. And then I'll meet you back here. Okay, here's my section 3A and 3B put together, and we've ironed towards section 3A. So now we're going to take section 3C, add it to 3B. Do exactly the same thing. And we are going to sew it on that inner line, and we're going to iron towards 3B. So I'll meet you back here. We'll have our 8 sections put together, and we'll start putting our ring together. Okay, there's our 3A, 3B, 3C put together, and our 3C and 3B have been ironed towards the 3B. So we need to take these 8 sections and make them 4 sections. So what I did last time, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to take this top piece, I'm going to pull it to the left, and then put it together with the piece on the bottom. So we are taking 3C of this one and adding it to 3A of this piece. And then we will have 4 sections of the circle, and then we'll do the exact same thing to make 2 sections. So meet you again back here. Okay, this thing is getting unruly big, but we can do it. These are the sections I just put together, and you're going to iron towards 3C on all of them. So let's take it, let's move this over, and again, pull the top one over to the left. So we're putting green and yellow together again. And we will end up with just 2 seams, and we'll have half circles at this point. So get these 2 sewn together, and then iron towards this 3C section again. Okay, we are left with 2 gigantic half circles. So I am going to again take this top one, pull it all the way down, and put these 2 together. The right of one's half circle and the left of the other. Pretty much what we've been doing, 3A to 3C. So I'm going to get that sewn, I'm going to iron towards 3C. Okay, there's my seam that I just sewed, and I've ironed it towards 3C. And we need to go to the other side. Make sure it's not twisted, because this could get twisted up really good. We got all of this untwisted, so this 3A and this 3C are going to go together. And we are going to sew it and iron towards 3C again, and our circle will be complete. Okay. Holy moly, this thing's huge. Obviously, I cannot fit this on my screen, but you know what? I'm going to go out, put it on my floor, take a picture, and throw the picture in right now for you. So you can see how big this thing is and how little the other one is, but they're the exact same thing. Constructed exactly the same way, fabrics in the exact same position. Pretty much took about the exact same amount of time. Just because it's bigger doesn't mean it takes any more time to do. So we're all done with these rings, and if you can believe it, we're all done paper piecing. That's crazy. We are done paper piecing. Now we are going to be putting together all our other sections, and next week we are going to be working on these outer green and black sections. After that, that just leaves us these inner sections right here, which start down here and go up to the butterfly. So get ready for this next week, and Oh my goodness, we're getting so close. Awesome. It's so awesome. Again, if you're following along with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Check out the links I have below of all the products that I use. I love all the products I use, so I put them down below and you can check them out. It really does help the channel out. I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.